good laugh.
I was going to say.
And, that was it. Okay.
All right.
Well, basically, what was the settlement? I mean, was it favorable to NCRA, or what was,
Yeah,
what
a number
was,
of
what was
things-
adjusted?
A number of things relating to sound, reducing sound in the town, making sure that we've got welded track to reduce undercurrent noises and so forth. Basically, it worked out, again, I'm talking as if this is totally wrapped up, but there are things that were dealt with last night, or tonight, will be dealt with tonight, but it looks like we have a deal. And it should be pretty equitable. We've all spent, unfortunately, we spent a good bit of time and money in the delay that they threw out there, so, but that's behind us.
Okay. I have a couple of items. The last meeting we had in Walla, I brought forward an off-agenda item in regards to the CalStar helicopter facility at Ukiah Airport. I did attend the meeting that night of the Ukiah City Airport Commission. I played our case. They went with our alternative to allow for a move from the present location to a vacant hangar on the same side of the field just north, with the acknowledgement that when time, money, and infrastructure is in place, that CalStar continues to understand that the ultimate goal is to move their facility to the east side of the airport. So it did bear fruit that I went and provided testimony to that. In regards to another item we took up in Walla was in regards to AB 32, the scoping plan of the Air Resources Board. There is a hearing scheduled for December 11th. I believe that's a Thursday, is that correct, Madam Clerk? And so I will be unable to attend that, and I'm looking for volunteers of supervisor or two that could attend and provide testimony to our issue and our stance. Is anyone available or could volunteer to do that? Yes? Is there any objection with Supervisor Delbar providing our stance?
That'd be great.
Okay.
Hopefully, we're going to have that resolution before the board before then, too, Mike, so you can take that
Yep.
with you. There's going to be a draft come before the board here in the near future.
Okay, so with no objection, Supervisor Delbar will be providing Mendocino County's testimony at the ARB hearing. Okay, all right. And we do have a couple of just routine matters, and then we still have to go into closed session. So County Council, do you have any report? No report. CEO report.
In the interest of time, I'll just give you some brief comments. While 2 weeks ago, while I was off in Washington, D.C. getting a son married, I took a day off and spent some time with our Washington, D.C. lobbyists on a number of issues, traveling throughout the Department of Energy, Department of Agriculture, Department of Commerce, on various issues, one which Supervisor Smith had particularly mentioned on biomass. Met with one of the division chiefs of the biomass division, and I do have 3 contacts where there is some grant money potentially available for alternative fuel generation using biomass, and they were particularly interested in some former mill sites. So I'm continuing to follow up that, as well as some issues relating to broadband that we were trying to get some energy on, and some housing issues and so forth. I think it was a very successful trip. I'll give you a more formal report in the next week or so, but we have started, in case you hear anything, work with the Census Bureau and Census 2010. We've met with representatives who are currently coming out of Bothell, Washington. That's where the regional office has come. Met with the city managers in the county, and we will be going forth with a community collaboration concept to include and count everybody. This is a census this time around that only asks about 8 questions, doesn't pry into your personal life as some of the previous ones, and if you mail in the flyer that's sent to you, that's the only contact you theoretically will have with the census. As a rule of thumb, what they gave me was that for every resident we count in Mendocino County is worth $1,200 per year in federal aid. So that's a fairly important number for us to count every citizen that we can. So we'll be forming a committee that'll bring an item to your board and request some input from you on who those partners should be, so how we can pull everybody together. And finally, if it all goes as planned, on next Monday, working with Supervisor Colfax as our representative from the NCRA, we're going to attempt to do a cleanup on the railroad tracks as they go through the city of Ukiah. We will be using prisoner crews to do that work, cleaning up overgrown brush, cleaning up trash, and possibility of if we encounter some homeless sites out there. And so it's a project we're going to start on Monday. This is a project we're doing as a partnership with NCRA because they've spent a lot of their resources fighting lawsuits back and forth, and we definitely want to see the community cleaned up. And Supervisor Colfax has been gracious enough to get us all the contacts and champion this project. And I think you'll see it'll take us about 2 weeks to do the project, and I think you'll see a significant beautification of the railroad tracks as we go through town. So just a couple of quick items for you.
And in regards to that, if we're successful in the operation of doing that, may I just suggest